Welcome back, you guys, to season 12, episode 3. We are literally almost done with this season, you guys. Ugh. However, we are continuing the script series. We are switching the narratives our generation has back to where they should be. As always, we are keeping it real and honest. This conversation most definitely will be a good one. So, enough of me talking. I know I'm ready, but I also know that my co hosts are ready too. So, now, ladies and gentlemen, please introduce yourselves.
Hi, y'all. I'm Dee. I go to Fort Valley State University.
Hey man, if y'all don't know me by now, if y'all don't recognize my voice, I'm CJ. I'm a cousin of Caitlin. Excited to be here. This is the first episode to be virtual, man. She's come a long way with the podcast, man. I'm happy for her. But yeah, man, just turned 19 2 weeks ago, so yeah, I'm real thankful.
Hi guys, my name is Mattison. I'm very new to the show. I'm excited to be here. Um, I'm a student esthetician and a licensed massage therapist, so happy to be here.
Okay. Happy belated birthday, CJ.
Appreciate
Also,
it.
thank you, ladies. Y'all know I love y'all as always. Thank you guys so much for coming on the show. Thank you guys so much for being here. Y'all know I'm truly grateful. All right, so are you guys ready to get into these topics?
Let's
Yes,
get to
ma'am.
it.
All right.
Most
So,
definitely.
cheating has always been a controversial topic in any conversation. Some say it's no excuse to do it, while others feel that certain reasons should excuse it. However, when it comes to if someone has cheated or not, people tend to add that it can be emotional too and not just physical. Can I just say I hate cheating, period?
Yeah.
Anyway, so with that being said, co-host, do you think emotional cheating is just as bad or worse than physical cheating? Anybody can go first.
Of course, if anything, emotionally cheating is worse than physically cheating. Like you gave someone your mind, your energy, your spirit, all that stuff. They got to know you without, the extra physical. Hmm.
Anybody else want to add?
I agree with Dee. Like, that is such an emotional exchange, and it's just like, I don't know. That's just an exchange that should just not, like, happen at all.
Mm. All right, CJ, you up? What you got to say?
Mm, okay, so I don't know. For me, I feel part of me feels as if emotional cheating comes first before the physical cheating, honestly. Um,
Mm.
the things that she or he emotionally desires from he or she's partner, it gets treated by somebody else, and eventually all that emotion and all that energy gets channeled into that other person, therefore, which leads to a physical part of cheating. So I feel like it's just the first step before you get to that second step.
Mm.
Um,
So, do
but
y'all
I
feel
think it
like?
definitely is
Okay.
one of the worst ones.
Okay, so do you feel like as a partner, like have you guys ever experienced somebody emotional cheat? Like, do you know as a partner, like if your partner has pretty much stepped out when it comes to the emotional aspect of it, or do you think you believe in the saying like women, we that's the first thing that we do is emotional cheat before we do physical. Like, have any of you guys ever had an experience with that at all?
Um, of course, I'm the one with it. Yes. Yes, I have. I have experienced that, and it's like I know, like the vibe changes. I can tell that you're talking to someone else, telling our business. Tell them,
Mm.
oh, well, yeah, she's not doing this, she's not doing that. Da, 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 da. Okay, well, since I'm not, I mean, you can go ahead. You can go ahead with somebody else. So yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, man. You
CJ,
feel
you
the
haven't
energy
had a
switch.
lady
You
leave
feel it.
you like that, bro? You
You
ever had it?
absolutely you feel the energy switch. It's undeniable. There's no way you cannot go detecting that. Like it's just you feel the vibe switch. You know when there's something wrong, and even if you don't know what it is that's exactly wrong, you just know when something's off. And worst case scenario, it could be that. Um, but I may have had somebody leave me like that, but I also had some friends that have also had people walk out on them like that as well. And I seen the aftermath and the healing process of that, and it really ain't pretty. It's not pretty. So you can avoid it,
Yeah.
avoid it.
I would say I feel as if it can be just as bad because I feel like for me, sometimes us as women, like I said, that's the first thing that we do. And sometimes unintentionally because women like we're expressive. So I most definitely feel as if due to the fact of how we are, our genetic makeup, how God created us, I feel as if we emotional cheat a little bit a lot more than we when a lot of women physically cheat because at the end of the day, like I said, that's just how we are. If we have an issue, we're gonna express it. If something is going on, we gonna tell it. So it's just like I don't know, like I feel like for me, I've experienced it before and I experienced it bad. I feel like honestly, I don't know. I felt like I didn't feel as bad because the person had checked out and I kind of knew. So I feel like too, it kind of gives you a more better heads up. And I think I can deal with the fact that emotionally we're disconnected. I think I'll walk away better than that fact to see, okay, is this something that we want to fix? Is this a person that you're gonna keep running back to? So all these different questions kind of went through my head. And sadly to surely but say it doesn't cheating is cheating. And it's hard to really get back and connect with a person after you kind of disconnected from that person. Because if this person was just like me, once they disconnected, they disconnected. Once you lose me, you lose me. And honestly, I can say emotionally cheating. This person went out to find this person. So I guess the situation too was a little bit different because sometimes these people, most of the time when people emotionally cheat, I feel like they don't go out to find people. Sometimes these people just come to you or they just so happen to be people we already know. That's why
Hmm.
too I tell people I don't have a lot of guy friends. Why? Because I know what family I come from. And I know for a fact I'm not good with the whole guy friend type of thing. I just never been that type of girl to be, want to hang around a bunch of guys. Like I always feel like if I got my girls, I'm good. And that's only because, like I said, I know who child I belong to. You know what I'm saying? In a nice way to put that. So I most definitely feel like I've been to my girls before I've been to a guy friend, if that makes sense. Now, if I'm trying to get my opinion about something, like I'll text my cousin, like I'll text CJ or something like that. But I'm not gonna text a person that doesn't know how to tell me, okay, that's a little bit too far. Because CJ will tell you, he had to tell me a couple times, like, Kaitie, you don't think that's a little extreme? DeAndrea had to tell you don't think that's a little extreme? So I
Yeah.
almost definitely say I would say I'm guilty of most definitely probably emotional cheating, especially when stuff not really going the way you plan. Like I said, and I don't think it was necessarily anything intentional. Now, could I have handled the situation better? Absolutely. But I most definitely feel as if it's just something that you really have to. It's a touch and go. Like you have to know your limits. You have to know how to communicate. And I feel like back then I didn't really know how to communicate that well. I thought I did, but you know how when you look back and you look back at all your relationships, you be like, I didn't really communicate that well. So that's
Yeah.
where I'm at in my life to where I feel like I could admit that, I just didn't communicate that well, Like I could have communicated better and stuff didn't have to go as far as it did. But I will say
Yeah.
this. I did cut it
Hmm.
off and I did try to communicate with the person I was feeling some type of way. That's the thing. I feel like that part Now, I do I feel like the situation changed after I made it known to that person? No, it didn't. So shortly after we did end up breaking up, because the one thing I do believe in, I don't believe in doing people wrong when I'm with them. Because when I'm with you, I'm with you. I'm gonna ride with you. I'm gonna stick with you. But time something on, I feel like I used to be like that, but in a good way to me. I didn't feel like I just was out here just leaving people because I'm a spoiled brat. Not that type of thing. But if I'm telling you something and solutions are not being provided, then that's when I'm like, okay, maybe it's time to leave. So I guess with this question, I kind of just think it's really just a touch and go, you know? It's really something that just comes with more communication. Especially, the older that we get, we're young adults now, so it's just like our communication should be getting a little bit better. Like, you should know what in the communication area that you're not as good at, as strong as, in. Um, and just try not to shut down, but let that person know, because then at least you can say you're giving them a chance. And I just always think that's better than you just not saying nothing at all. So yeah, like I said, once I'm gone, I'm gone. But I just rather not have that attitude. Why do we have to have this attitude with people? I just rather just when I communicate something, just let's try to find a solution. Um, so yeah, that's really all I
Right,
have
a
to say about
compromise,
that.
a meet in the middle.
Yeah, compromise. Yeah, that's a big word. See,
Okay.
if I could say that class, that would be fine. Oh man. All right. So anybody else have anything else to say before we move on to the next topic? All right. All right. All right. So the next
Alright.
question somebody asked us was, how does therapy help you with dating when it comes to relationships? You want to go first? Do y'all even believe in therapy?
Yeah. Um, I think
Okay, yeah, you go ahead. Yeah, you go ahead.
I think if I don't know how this is gonna come out, but this is just raw and true. I feel like if you know you don't have yourself together
Mm,
and you're trying to date someone because you're trying to find something in them, that's a problem.
mm,
So if you're in therapy or whatever, okay, that's cool. But I would much rather someone not come healed, but come knowing, yeah, I need them to be not on the up, but like, okay, don't come here broken, mad at your ex, trying to get back at your ex. Um, Mama issues. You mad that your uncle took your car? Now you taking it out on me. No,
correct.
or you have a lot of not understand, like, no relationship is perfect. Yes, we can go
Right.
through it together. I'm here to help. Like you said, when I'm with you, I'm down for you. That's it. But I know you know as I know when you need to be in therapy. So you need to take
Okay.
advantage of that. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Correct. Oh, CJ, what you got to say? You over there shaking? Oh Lord, have
Because
mercy.
it's okay. Um, I think just as people in general, no matter what ethnicity, race, stigmatization you want to put on it, therapy is what you make it to be. Just because one person may not like therapy or do therapy or feel like it ain't for them, don't mean it ain't for you and your lover. You know what I'm saying? Therapy can be a lot of things for people. Therapy can do a lot of things for people. It's just about you and your partner coming to the conclusion and to the, compromise that this is something that y'all want to do. This is something that y'all believe at the end of the day is working to benefit y'all relationship, marriage, however the case may be, and it's gonna help. Can't go into it negative minded because you go into something negative minded, you never get anything positive. You never work to anything positive. Um, so I think therapy can do a lot. I think therapy is an option. It's definitely an option. It's never been not an option for me in any case or any future case or what the case may be. Um, yeah, I agree with what D said, man. It's just is needed. Is just needed when somebody comes to you wanting to be all that they want to be and all that they choose to be with you. Then you should be up more like to reciprocate the energy and come with the same respect. So
Honestly, I absolutely agree with y'all. I think that, especially in the Black community, therapy is just now being talked about and actually pushed. I think though, due to all the trauma and things that our culture has been through as a whole, we need those different things. Even when it comes to diversity, slavery, all those different things. Like when you talk about slavery with Black people, it's always you're gonna get emotional. And why? It's not the fact that we were there, but our ancestors were there. And then you look back sometimes, and the tears come with not just anger, but it's being to also being grateful. And sometimes, like when somebody of the separate race like does something to you, sometimes that causes the feelings to come up. So I say that to say, that's just a sidebar, just a comparison. But I feel like now going to therapy, I feel like therapy doesn't work for everybody, but I feel like most definitely it's something that people should try, especially if they have, had different things, different occurrences in their life. They give you tools to use, and not saying that every tool will work for you, but at least you have options to pull from. Besides your Bible, because even though you're a Christian, you can still go to therapy. That's why God made it. That's why God allowed them to get that degrees. You can still go to therapy.
mhm.
God did give you a little bit of common sense. That just had to be said, because people are like, God, yes, He's going to do His part, but we also have to do our part down here. He put therapy and therapists in place for a reason, meaning you can go to therapy and still love God. You ain't got to sit up there and be prideful, and especially if you feeling you're going through a season. I don't know about y'all, but I've been through certain seasons where I feel a disconnect with God because I didn't even know what to say. And half of the time before I started therapy, the answer was always that he kept just telling me was to go to therapy. So I say that to say that it does help. I feel like it does help you in different aspects, not just in relationships, but friendships with your families, personal wise, with you forgiving yourself, especially, just different things, internal work. And like D was saying, I feel like most definitely you don't have to come healed, but I at least need to see progress. Are you working on something? Do you know do like are you in denial, or do you know what certain things are? Because then that'll be able to help me as your partner to be able to help you a little bit better and know why you do what you do or where you're at. Um so I most definitely say too, maybe therapy can help you be a little bit more open and honest about where exactly you are with your partner. Because I think a lot of times too, I've been in a relationship, what that was with like two guys, and they were in denial about a lot of the different things that they had going on, a lot of different things that they kind of were going through. And I'm just like, well, you know how you get in that space where you say in your head but not loud, like, why did you not just tell me? It was like that for me, because I'm just like, okay, I'm thinking, will we even have been here if you let me know X, Y, and Z? So, CJ, I just think like with Black men, I feel like maybe it needs to start being essential to go to therapy, because we love to say y'all don't know how to communicate. But do you think as a Black man going to therapy would help a lot of men communicate better, or do you think it should just stay a general thing?
Man, listen. Man, I don't. Man, listen. All I know, I would say this. I say yes. It should be, of course, it should be open and there for everyone. But especially with us Black men, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about everybody's childhood trauma, whatever the case may be, what they've been raised up under, what they've been taught, what they haven't been taught, what they haven't been told. It's a lot of emotional things that a lot of people claim to be and claim to do for one another, but when it comes down to it, are we actually showing that same emotion on day-to-day basis? Are we actually
Mm.
communicating day-to-day basis? um I know for me personally, man, if it wasn't for the young lady that I'm with right now, man, honestly, There's no way none of this self-recognition, self-improvement, future self-improvement would ever be here. None of the self-trauma that I realize that I do have stuck inside of me that I never talked about is there. And if it wasn't for the communication, if it wasn't for that therapy, that quote unquote therapy, I wouldn't be able to be who I am right now and who I'm going to continue to be because of all that built up trauma, all that built up silence and everything like that. So it is important, especially for us black men, because it's just something about us that we don't seem to like opening up to anybody. Even when it be the person that's right there next to us that cares the most and that's willing to do anything for us. So I really do encourage people to try therapy, man. Try therapy, try it, try it, try it. It really does help, man. It really does help.
Maddie, you want to add anything?
Yeah, this question really got me like excited because I really agree with you guys. Like as you date, you come across like a lot of triggers. Like in my personal experience, I've had people, it's like they haven't healed. Like healing is an ongoing process, like it's a constant process. And it's just like it's the way you go about it. So I've had people, it's like they hold on to how past people treated them and they don't allow
Mm,
them to come into like the present. They keep holding on to the past. So I say therapy, just like in life in general, it's a good thing to try out or like just at least try it once. But especially with dating, you come across like, learning more about yourself, your triggers, how to, better yourself and better your reactions to those triggers pretty much. So it's something I highly recommend. Like I really agree with you guys. Like that really touched your personal space.
oh.
It
Yeah, man, I tell you, it's just it's hard out here in these streets, but
is.
DeAndrea, like you said, like come heal. At least come. I would say over 70%. Can I
Yeah.
just get the 70? Well,
Yeah, the 70%.
can I get the 70? Like, can you identify you have anger issues?
Or
Yeah.
can before you come into this relationship, can you tell me like, can I get a 30-second trailer of what I'm finna get myself
Yeah.
into?
Okay, cause where
Yeah.
you been?
Like
Mhm.
progress is better than no progress is what I always
Yes.
say. Like it's a team
Okay.
type of situation.
And like you said, it's ongoing. Healing process is ongoing for everybody because life be life,
Yeah.
literally. Especially as a young adult, life be life, life is going to keep going. I do believe in that saying when people say life going to continue to go whether you hear or not, and that's true. And that's why I always tell people I'm not expecting you to be perfect. Don't
Yeah.
get me wrong, but sometimes you also too have to be able to identify what you bring to the table. Like, am I bringing the table, the equipment? Am I bringing all that to you? Because that's gonna use all my energy. Because now I have to put the table together by myself, and I don't feel like that's always fair to people. Because I feel like that's what end up happen. That's what ends up happening when people cannot identify certain things, And I think we just, y'all have really just touched that. I think just more honesty would be nice. Well, as people love to lie and say, more transparency. That's the new big word that everybody wants to say. Communication. It's communication. Stop
Yeah.
saying transparent. You be trying to all make it sound cute, and then be lying when you say you're trying to be transparent. No, we just needed to communicate and save the bougie and extra stuff for somebody else.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. I just want to say I love you, black man. I love you, black woman.
Yes,
Please
we
go
love
get that
y'all.
therapy before you start dating
Okay,
other folks.
All out of love.
all right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
for these stereotypes especially.
You're not crazy if you go to therapy. You're
Yeah.
not. If you really think about it, therapy comes in all different types of forms. Sitting and talking to someone can be therapy. Going to play basketball can be therapy. Come on.
A hug,
Yeah.
man.
Get that therapy.
Just something.
CJ, you said a hug?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Y'all listen. Do not ever underestimate the power of a hug. I used to do that.
Yes.
Do it ever again. Do not underestimate the power of a hug, man. I promise you.
Y'all
telling you.
ever hug somebody and you just start crying and they just look at you like, I don't know what's going on. I be like, can I just hug you like a little longer? You know, that hug, like you said, go a long way. I kid you not, it does.
Absolutely.
Man. So, all right, y'all. So, next question says, can the silent treatment be abusive to your partner?
Yes. Oh
I
my
hope we don't
god.
have any shut down people. Well, I think we do, but I ain't gonna throw no shade though. I ain't gonna throw no shade.
Um, shoot, I'll go first on this one. Um, silent treatment can definitely be abusive. Definitely. No matter how many times or how many shapes, forms it comes in, I am one of those people that used to ghost a lot. No matter who it was, no matter who you could be, I go weeks, months without texting. As Caitlin herself.
Almost years.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry, family. I'm sorry. I'm forever sorry for it. But it is definitely abusive, and as much as you think it's some type of healing mechanism for you or some type of therapy, it's really not. It's really not. You're doing way more harm than you could ever do good to you and anybody else. All of this is just pushing people away, pushing you away, honestly, from getting closer to the things that you may desire to get to. But trust me, the abuse, the ghosting, the quietness is it can be more than abusive. It can be hurtful. It can be dangerous. It could cause dangerous things, and it just please encourage people to open up their mouths, man. Even if you may think you know the outcome of the conversation or whatever the case may be, because nowadays people get too caught up in the mindset and thought of, okay, if I say this, well, what would they say? They try to play the whole conversation out before it even starts. Um, and you never know, man. People may surprise you. People may turn a new leaf, or people just may not be the person that you thought they was just because of somebody in your past or whoever the case may be, whether that's friends, family, whatnot. But trust me, don't have that mindset of getting judged or not to open up your mouth when something hurts you or it's something that's bothering you. Especially for a long period of time. Just open up your mouth, man. Even if it ain't a whole lot, just say a little bit, because a little bit can even go a whole lot, a long ways. So, yeah, it's abusive, man. It's abusive.
Anybody else? Oof.
Um, I'm with CJ on this one. Oh my gosh, I'm so good for ghosting folks. I'm doing better. I'm doing better, but I'm so good for ghosting folks. Like if I see a conversation, like I'm just not gonna text back. Or if you make me feel some type of way, I'm just not gonna say anything. Like I. Mm-mm. But now that I've gotten older, I don't know. I feel like I've gotten bolder as I've gotten older. If that makes sense. So now I'm like, nah, don't even waste your time. Nah, don't even do that. It's not. I'm not going to text you back. I'm just letting you know that I'm blocking you right now, so it won't be no confusion at the end of the day. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's, but I do believe in if you're upset, you taking a moment, gathering your thoughts or whatnot. But yeah, like you said, open up your mouth and talk. Yeah, tell me something, or you can't be afraid of what the next person is going to do or say.
Mm.
I'm
Matt.
really like in the middle. Like I agree with the both of you guys. Like in some cases, like I definitely agree with communicating, because I do agree with the silent treatment being abusive, but sometimes it's only so much you can say in certain like instances. Like people just constantly not like, I guess, hearing you out or really, being fully attentive. And like even then, I would try to like, this is not gonna work out. Like, don't contact me, stuff like that. So it's like I'm on the fence. Like I'm right there in the middle.
Okay,
Mm.
so let me ask you this. At one point, do you feel like it should come to a point where somebody should stop talking? How many
Ooh.
times when something is done that it gets to a point where you just sit back and wait? Or like that. How many times? How many times y'all got? How many chances?
I'm not gonna
Ooh.
lie.
Um,
Are you willing to give the same amount of chances at all?
I've I've had a recent situation to where it's like I've tried to give chances to somebody, like, how they respond, how they talk to me, this and that. And it's kind of like, all right, I'm trying to communicate with you as an adult. You know, this is bothering me. You know, can we work on this and that? And it's like, I'm not going to, like, we're grown at this point. And if you're not trying to, like, at least see it from my side or my point of view, I don't know. I just kind of just stopped talking. I honestly just stopped talking. Like, I just blocked him, deleted the number, everything.
Ooh, y'all be blocking people?
Oh, I
No,
love a good
he
block.
had he blocked, because you're not going to keep, like, at that point it was getting disrespectful. Like, why you not talking to me, this and that. If I told you what you're doing is bothering me, you keep doing it.
People still asking that, man. Why are you not talking to me? We a bit too old to be asking that question.
And that just comes with maturity. But like Mattison said, like I'm conveying my feelings. I'm telling you how I'm feeling, and you're playing in my face.
Yeah.
So for me to, keep myself sane, keep my religion, I'm just gonna respectfully remove you, block you, keep it pushing. Yeah. So when you wake up in the middle of the night trying to text me and it doesn't go through, that's why.
But I'm not gonna
Especially if you
lie.
try to text me at 11 o'clock, because I be asleep. Why are you these are
Don't
school
text me
hours.
no
What are you doing?
I'm not gonna lie. I have had this one person I was just weak in the knees for. So that's why I say I'm, like, in the fence. Like,
We all have to. We all have.
Body like
I had to
I
stand
most
up.
definitely listen here. Say it with your chest. Listen, I feel as if it depends, because I feel like my sister is a person that shuts down a lot. So having to grow up and like she's doing it now when we're adults, it be making me mad. I'm not even gonna cap with you. But that's my sister though. But when it comes to my partner, I feel as if one, I don't like it, period, because I just feel like I'm an open type of person. Like, even if I'm in the wrong, I still want to talk about it. Even if you need a minute, let me know that you need a minute. I'm that type of person. It's not even the fact that I'm wrong, because most people, that be their problem. But for me, it be even if I'm wrong, I still want you to talk. So I also too think it depends on why you're giving me the silent treatment. Because if you just mad and you can't just say you mad and I'm gonna talk to you later, then yeah, I'm gonna be like, okay, what we doing? Especially if you do it on multiple occasions. You have people that literally, when they get mad, they want to block you. Like, you blocking me? Excuse me? And then you want to unblock me. So this is a game you like to play, and this is a game that I'm not playing with you. Because if you want to get ugly, I can get ugly. But I say that to say, like DeAndrea said, just to keep my religion and to make sure that my mouth is where it needs to be. I try to just make sure I communicate that's something that I don't like. And like I said, especially when I'm not really an aggressive person. Even when I'm arguing with somebody, I feel like I have gotten better at not raising my voice, not going, not hitting below the belt, not cussing you out, not call. I don't call anybody out their name that I've ever talked to. Now, after the fact, mind your business. But while I was talking to them, I could guarantee nobody has ever could say that I've ever called them out their name. Why? Because I don't. You do not want to call me out my name. Notice I say do not want to call me out my name. So I say that to say that I just rather we communicate. Like, you can. I feel like this space is your silence. Space is your silence. If you need space, I feel like we're old enough now to say, hey, let me take a rain check. Hey, can I take a beat? Hey, can I call you later? Even if if we're on because I had an instance where a guy, me and him got into a disagreement about something and he hung up in my face.
Oh.
Now, no, I really, really tried to keep my composure. But when I called back and he didn't answer, I said, okay. I said, now the fact that you got mad and hanged up in my face, you better be glad I'm texting you at all, first of all. Second of all, I'ma just assume you need space, due to the fact that you cannot communicate that effectively to me. But once it happened the second time, oh baby, he got a couple words. he got a couple words, and guess what? I at that point, matter of fact, we didn't even talk after it happened the second time, cause it's just like this. Once I tell you once, okay, you gotta want it, but once I tell you twice, and nothing changed, and you do the same thing, that's it for me. I stopped giving people third chances because you heard me the first time. That gonna sure heard me the second. And if nothing is changing, then that lets me know that for one, you don't care to listen. Two, you don't care to fix or change or adjust anything. And then three, you just are a person that if it's not your way, it's the highway. And I've always stated that I'm not gonna be with that type of person because I've already been with that type of person. It's one of those things that once you do it one time or a couple times, at a point in time you should learn. I think
Yeah.
at a point in time you should learn. You should learn who not to deal with, those type of people not to deal with. So I will most definitely say I have never gave anybody the silent treatment, but I have said, "Hey, can I take a beat? Hey, can we talk about this later?" Especially if I'm in a public place or I'm around my family or whatever. I don't want them to see me get ugly with you. I'm like, you know what? Let me take a beat. And sometimes too, it's just to calm down why I need to take a beat because every now and then I get back to those moments where I'm old Caitlin. See, Kaitie is nice, but when Caitlin come out, that's a wrap. So sometimes I feel myself about to act up or nut up, as people can say, and I'll be like, you know what? Let me take a beat. I have gotten better. Now, have I had my days? I'm not even gonna count with you. I have, but I feel like I'm slowly getting better because I'm not dealing with people that trigger those points for me. So that's why too I say it really just depends on what you really want to deal with. I say once I have already let you know, like I said, I don't want it to be an issue come second time around.
Mhm.
That's just how I feel. But yeah,
Fellas, y'all better tighten up, man. They
I
not.
know you tighten up because CJ, y'all, I used to almost cuss him flat out. My cousin would go months. And I ain't talking about D and Matt like no hiatus. He would literally go MIA. Like,
Like,
who
no
does that?
social media.
We live 10 minutes away from each other. Who does that? Like,
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. No last online 5 minutes ago. No, none of that. Mm-mm.
I mean, none of that, y'all.
No.
He used to completely shut down. So I'm just like, that's why you and your cousin get along so well, because y'all act just alike, you know?
But it's crazy because the more I grow out of it, the more and more I find me and you getting closer. So it's crazy.
Yes, we're getting back. We're getting back, you know. And I feel like we're working on it. Like I said, once you communicate, like I feel like we're at a space now where we have communicated and you know. And two, you ever D, I know me and you are kind of like that. Like we know when something is wrong with each other. So
Yeah.
it's just like it's easy too when people are silent when you kind of are connected with them on a spiritual level.
Mm.
See, D and CJ, I'm connected with them on a spiritual level. So even if I don't say nothing or I go a couple of weeks, they know something is wrong because I'm not just gonna be off the radar unless I absolutely like am off the radar.
Mm-hmm.
Um and yeah, even Maddie can tell you she was my section leader for what, a year and a half, almost 2 years. It's a little
Yeah.
minute. And I feel like her patience taught me how to take a beat too. Cause I used to get agitated when we used to be in band, and it was a certain person in our section. I'm not gonna say her name, but I used to get really frustrated with her. And it was just how she treated other people in our section. So Maddie was just like, you know what, just take a walk, just take a beat. And I be like, Maddie, I don't want to take a beat. I want to be somebody. Like that's how I feel. What do you mean take a beat? So, like I said, I'm so glad, Jesus, I'm so glad that I'm not high school Kayla. Like sometimes I'm just looking back and like I'm so glad I'm not high school whoever, cause baby, what was I doing back then? I
You
mean,
and
it
me
wasn't
both.
doing
Oh
a
my
lick of
god.
nothing. Ugh. But yeah, y'all, that's just a side note, Jesus. But yeah, all right. Anybody else have anything to add before we move on to the next one?
Mm. Shoot, y'all just make sure y'all allow calmer minds to prosper. Sometimes in the heat of the moments, things get said, or people go separate ways. But just make sure y'all agree on a moment where y'all can let calmer minds prosper at the end of the day.
Mm, that's good right there. All right. So the next thing we'll ask y'all, somebody said, when do you show your wifey side versus your girlfriend side to your partner? Ladies. I gotta pat my weed for that.
I gotta
Babe, my weed
stop
is shit.
I'm still learning. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, Jesus. I have given a lot of wife vibes when I should have been giving friend vibes. Like,
Oh,
That's the one.
so you said that hard. You had flashback.
yeah, I'm having a flashback. I am. I am. My God. Like, I'm still a work in process. God is working on me. Like, my mom had to tell me that's your boyfriend, not your husband. You got to be able to climb. But if you already up here, you don't have nothing to
Oh,
climb to.
Exactly.
So, got to start small. These start small. I use $5 from McDonald's. Let's start there. Like, you can't go buy this man no clothes. You can't be cooking this man no meal.
oh,
You can't be
Mm-hmm.
cooking
oh,
this man house up, folding clothes and stuff. No, you can't do that, dude.
Right.
oh, geez. Mm,
See, I learned the hard way. I bought somebody 2K one time, and I was just like, "Oh my lord."
Yeah.
mm, mm.
Hey, we have all had our moments where we were weak in the knees,
Listen,
and
I
I had to
would
stand
say,
up.
listen, I would say I had to learn how to not be so transactional with people because that how too I feel like you can show you like your wifey side before like I feel like let me be your girlfriend. Let's see can you even be a husband. Let's see if you even supposed to be my husband. How about that? If
Amen.
you even my person, because what we
Yeah.
doing? Listen, like you out here got like 5 wives, not legally, but I mean, cause what your girlfriends did before me, they done lost their mind. And if you the same Jack Donkey that you was with them, that's why I get so comfortable. So
Yeah.
I also too would say
Mhm.
make sure you learn people past relationship history and ask them what is their expectations. Because baby, I told one man, I said, baby, you won't get a cooked meal from me unless you come to my house. I'd be darned if I come over to your house, use your pots, your pans, your refrigerator, your stove, clean any of your dishes in your kitchen. You hear me?
Hmm.
Even pick up a broom to cook for you. No, you come over and get some of my food, but I ain't cooking for you, baby. I'm cooking for me, cause baby, I like to eat. And also too, like I'm not picking up your underwear. What do I look like?
Hmm.
Amen.
What I look like? I almost said something. See, I
Yeah.
almost said something. See, I
Can we
almost said
add
something.
that? Can you date me first? And like, can you like date me for real? A date isn't, well, I'm not gonna not know. Let's have a movie that like if you ain't got the funds, then yeah,
Right.
we'll make
I can
something
work
work.
with that, but y'all just
But
don't be
Yeah.
broke.
it ain't nothing that you got at your house that I don't already have in my house. If I'm being real, I probably got more stuff in my house
Or
than you
my mama and
yours.
daddy ain't already gave me.
It's
Baby,
thank
I ain't been into a 5-star hotel.
yeah,
Baby.
Amen.
yes. Let's just do that because what you're trying to do is y'all fill in the blank. I'm trying to take me back to that room. No.
Exactly. And not no Motel 6. Have you lost your mind?
Yeah,
Do I look like Pretty Woman, a hooker on the street? I don't think so.
no, no.
But yeah. I most definitely think I feel like us as women too, we have to stop giving so much.
So soon.
So not just so quickly, exactly that too,
Mhm.
but I feel like we have to learn how to lounge. Yeah, I know this sounds like they a puppy, but the way some of these ninjas be acting in these streets, Sometimes I have to announce to you what you can potentially get if I'm gonna be your wife, especially if I'm already your girlfriend. And too, like I said, it depends on how long I've been with you. I'm not gonna do all this stuff and I only know you for 2 months because I've lived on people that have sent guys $300, $400 and only known them for 3 months, and I'm just looking at them like,
Oh my
where?
lord.
Who bought to do that to their bank account? Baby, and they only give you a $20, a $10 meal from McDonald's, but you sending them
Mhm.
over $300. You paying for their gas, but they the one that messed with you. You knew you was 35 to 40 minutes when you met me. What I look like? You at your big behind age, baby. We're not doing that. Mm-mm. And then you're older than me. That's what makes it worse. That's what the part that be making me just be like, okay,
You having a flashback, Kate?
yeah, huh?
You having a flashback?
Girl, this one dude, he asked me, he said, why are you worried about your credit, y'all? I mean, I paid off my whole furniture, done paid off my car, everything. And he asked me, y'all, he's 25, about to be 26. Why you worried about your credit? This is the foolishness that I talk about in these streets that don't make no sense to me. Because I just be
Oh
looking
my
like,
gosh.
baby, credit, you should be worried about why your credit where it's at. Do you even
Okay.
have credit?
How can you get your
Right.
credit score up? Let's be for real.
Right. Now I will say the qualities that come with me to be your girlfriend, I feel like those will extend once I become a wife. That's just always how I imagine it. That's at least what the old people say. But I feel like I'm not going to. Like I said, it's only going to be a certain amount, and then too, like I said, it depends on how long we've been together. Like if we've been together 2 years plus, that's different. But even then, 2 years and no ring, I'm still gonna be looking at you like you crazy. I'm just saying. I'm be looking at you a little crazy, especially because at the end of the day, we are young, man. At the end of the day, nobody just has it all together. Even grown folks with money. And people let us say, "Well, I want to be financially stable." Okay, baby, we can get there together. But 2 years and
Mhm.
no ring, you've lost your mind. And then too, let's stop giving it to the guys that don't want to get married. If you know you want to get married, do not talk to guys that don't want to get married. Baby, you cannot change his mind. Let
And
that whole theory out your head, cause no, it ain't gonna work. Just like you know.
I don't see why the government, why we gotta sign a piece of paper like it's a
Well, if
contract.
it's a piece of paper, sign it. You sign your name on everything else, sign it. I
Hello.
want your last name. Have you lost your mind? If you die, I want to be able to tell them where to bury you, okay?
Yeah, because when
If
I'm
we got kids,
a special front of the
yeah,
obituary, will
exactly. People look at me like I'm crazy. I got two of your bad baby kids. I ain't got your name. They
hold
say
on,
yes. I want this to be the Scott family, not the Scott kids.
kid.
What we doing? What we doing? CJ,
Oh man,
what you have to say? We just been ranting, but what as a guy, like what do you have to say about all of this?
I mean, this is. I don't know, man. This is like one of them things was just. I don't know, cause like I don't. It ain't. I don't feel too much of a. Okay, I will say this: guys need to also have the
We ain't gonna
self
jump.
awareness. Was that?
We ain't gonna jump on you. Go ahead.
Oh, relax. Um, I don't know. I just at the end of the day, I feel like, of course, this is more towards females, so I don't know where the males come in, but I do see this. Men just need to have enough self awareness to know and realize more about themselves before they even try to commit, or when it comes to a point where you do have a woman that is weak in these for you, and that wants to do wifey things for you. Um, I just wish we knew when to say something about, hey, and slow down for a second. You know what I'm saying? We moving a little too fast. You may move a little too fast. I'm not ready for this. I don't know what I want right now. I don't know what I want right
Say
now.
that again. Say that again so someone can write that down. I don't what?
I don't know what
It's
I'm
on
looking
a couple
for right now.
words.
I don't know what I want. I don't know what I'm searching for. Men need to have
Just
that.
slow down.
Slow down. Slow down with what you doing right now. Slow down with what I'm doing. Let's sit down. Let's talk about this. the expectations, the reality of the expectations, what it is, the goals, all that, family expectations, all that stuff. Because if we're, I'm in the mode right now where I'm looking to marry. I'm definitely planning on marrying, having a family, everything. So I feel like not enough people are in that same boat right now. Because it just ain't a lot of good candidates out there for either side. People find brick walls,
Amen. Oh
finding
my.
walls everywhere, hurdles that they just can't seem to jump over. Um,
Mm. Or the good ones, they want idiots. That's what they want. They don't
true,
want
yeah,
us good people be out here just wading in the water, and
that's
they'll
low,
pick up a catfish before they pick up a regular person. You know what I'm
low key leading us to our next question.
saying? Exactly.
Um,
Exactly.
But
I yeah.
yeah, man, it's just really when it comes to the man, it's just really you just gotta have that maturity. You gotta be able to talk about it. You gotta be able to have that self awareness with yourself and the relationship as a whole. Because you can't sit there and start off as at a high floor and have a low ceiling. You can't start off,
Oh,
give you treatment, giving the husband treatment. Ain't able to grow from that. Ain't able to extend anything after that. You can't, start off at the boyfriend position and expect to stay there the whole time when she's expecting you to have a higher ceiling, when she's expecting y'all to have a higher ceiling. So, it's just a lot, man. It's just a lot that, of course, men that we need to work on. But I just, encourage everybody to do their best at it, man. Communicate it and realize when it is that they are valued enough or seeing themselves to be valued enough to be treated that way. A lot of people seem to overvalue themselves, and so you
mm.
seem to overvalue yourself. You seem to think you deserve every damn thing. Sorry about that. Yeah, a lot
You
of
have
people.
flashback.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Okay, I might have a little flashback, but
You said
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. And then coming from hearing people my age, my group, school, hearing stuff that come out their mouths and what they expect in terms of relationships and everything like that, and it blows my mind, honestly. And at the end of the day, when I look at them, bro, they can't even finish a goddamn 10-question quiz without looking off of somebody's paper, and it's the most easiest thing to do. They can't even put in a job application. You know what I'm saying? It's just the smaller things, man. And when you realize and when you have that self awareness that you can't do stuff like that, you can't handle yourself on your own. What makes you think somebody else can come in and handle you, take care of you? What makes you think you can put in that equal energy into the pot as well when y'all talking about being together long term? It just don't make sense to me. So,
mm.
Um, let me say this before I forget it. So one of the things you said is, guys being able to communicate, slow down, you know, I'm not ready for this, I'm not ready for that. So as a woman, we need to listen when they say slow down,
Ooh,
because we're quick to say, okay, or try to persuade them to be like, okay, I understand that, we can do it like this, do it like that. No, he's telling you to slow down because he's saying that he's really
yeah.
not ready. So we have to stop pushing off well, I'm gonna do
Mm-hmm.
this for this, do this for him, do that for him. He's not ready for all that. And then we
Yeah.
also, as women, like when you said before, like knowing about the previous relationship. Me personally, if I feel like, oh, well, so and so didn't do this, that, and the third, so let me show them something different. First, don't don't even do that. Wait and try to see what kind of man he is and why old girl treated him the way she did, or
Listen.
why he did that. Because sometimes it's a method to the madness. You just gotta sit back and watch for a little minute.
mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
actually date and get to know each other before you
Ooh.
actually start. I'm saying it
exactly.
for myself.
You saying the right thing. You saying the
Yeah,
right thing.
yeah. Before you try to push out all that extra energy, because
Right.
at the end
Right.
you're gonna be drained out, and honey, he gonna be full, fed,
Full
dressed,
gas and you on empty.
and leaving me on empty.
And
Then
don't even care to fill you
age
back up. No, I ain't care.
of
He
yeah,
going turbo, you on empty, man. It makes no
yeah.
sense.
And if you choose to cook, make him come make his plate. Cause you're not my man. I mean, you're my man, but you're not my husband. Come make your plate.
And get
Yeah,
your feet off my end table.
get off my doggone table.
Flash,
What
flashback moment.
are we doing? Take a
Oh,
break. I mean, you telling me no, baby? I'm
Right.
not gonna cook and bring you no plate. What do I look like?
Oh,
You a guest, but you not the one paying the bills in this mother trucker, okay?
Come on now.
When
Don't
you
not
when
have
you
it
can give me a card and you can give me a ring. How about this? Give me a ring before you get me the car. How about that?
Come on.
another thing I
And
want to.
then I ask you what you want on your plate.
Now
Yeah,
we out at a event. I might ask you, you want me to make you a to-go plate? That's it. That's different. But if
yeah. Another thing I want to ask you is I don't know, but let's stop allowing certain family members and their situations influence yours, influence what it is y'all got going on, influence decisions and everything like that. That's their life. That's their situation. You know? Focus on yours, deal with yours. At the end of the day, it's your life to live, it's your experience to have. So just stop allowing all the outside influence to come inside of your own influence, and it's not of you, it's of them. Because I see it too often.
I would say no win though, CJ. I kind of gotta disagree with that
Hmm?
because
Well, yeah.
if I would say if my sister and them that have experience with a guy that I know, because we women know we be BSing when we say we don't know. We are one of the most mentally intelligent people on women on the planet. And
Mhm.
we know when this guy is not gonna stay. Like we just know you're not gonna be the one I marry. You just somebody that's been passing through. I feel as if my mama or my grandmother, when God rest her soul, when she was alive, if they questioning me about you, I know you not the one automatically. I ain't even gotta know what else they need to say. If they be asking questions that I can't answer or that I'm looking stupid because I know the answer, but I know I don't want to apply my mouth,
Mhm.
baby, you is not the one. You is not the one. You're not somebody who I need to be with. Because at the end of the day, family, if they're genuine, are gonna make sure that you're straight. And they're not gonna tell you but to do, but it's just like we're in an obstacle course. And if I see you about to get hit with something, I'm not just gonna sit there and let you get hit. Now, if you still get hit and you choose not to move, that's different. But as far as I've never been the type of person to get involved into any of my siblings' relationships. The only time I get involved is when you put your hands on somebody and when you come after our family. Now, otherwise than that, I don't get involved. I let you do what you're gonna do, but at the same time, we have to learn how to look at the sibling before us and stop making the same dumb decision. Because if they you know what I'm saying, if they path didn't work out and that's path you on right now, common sense thing would say, okay, well, let me get off the red brick road and let's get on the yellow brick road. Because at the end of the day, sometimes that be God showing us what we want to do, how it's gonna end. And we just steady just be acting like we don't be seeing it. Like I feel like at a point in time, you gotta stop with the saying, well, you young, it's okay. Because when do you grow up? When you get 36, when you get 35 and you still don't know how to communicate, or you still got anger issues that you don't know how to let people know, or either you still like, come on now. So it's just like try to practice some safe habits, some healthy habits. So by the time you get 25 and above, you know what you know somewhat how you are as a person. And not just as a person, but how you are in relationships. Because sometimes people are two different people. You should be one and the same, but some people not intact with themselves like that. So I say that to say, I do agree. Don't let your family. Acrimony is a perfect example of that. How she let her sisters come in and tell her one of their husbands gay, like you have all this stuff. This is why I say just make sure when you're going to whoever you're going to, make sure that's genuine, not you being messy. Because see, that's another problem too. We don't know when people are trying to be messy versus when they're trying to be genuine.
Mm-hmm.
And two, you have to look at that your history with that person. I think that matters to me too. My history with the person who's coming to tell me something. Because sometimes people will even remind you of certain things that you said you weren't going to tolerate, but in a good way. And also too, some people you'll be surprised will give you like will put that business out there for you to get it. Be like, hey, I tried it. This how it ended out. So I say that to say, CJ, I do agree with what you saying when it's messy. But when it's genuine, I truly think sometimes we need to sit back and listen to a certain extent. Because at the end of the day, you know your partner better than anybody. But at the end of the day, are you compromising more of your morals and your values, or are you compromising something that can actually be doable? Because half of the time, most of the time, when somebody genuine is coming to you, it's something that shouldn't be compromised at all. And I can say that. Like I've had that experience where people have genuine people that I've known for a long time that came to me and said X, Y, and Z. And due to the fact I was so, all head over heels on this person, I didn't want to listen. But come to find out 10 times later, I was looking stupid because these people, they had told me what this person was doing. They told me this person was out here wilding. But me, I'm just like, nah, I'm at like a deer in the daggone headlights. I mean, signs right there in my face. And I'm just like, no, I can fix this person, all this other stuff. But I had to learn a person gonna do what they want to do.
Mhm.
They're gonna do what they want to do, baby. And then nothing you can do about it unless they have to come up in their head that you are worth a different decision. And at that time, he wasn't studying me. So so I say that to say like sometimes you have to listen. Like you need to listen because sometimes those people are God sent. Sometimes those people are not just being messy. Now, people, I will tell you how you know this person is messy because you probably had that question when this person keep bringing that same thing over and over again. Because sometimes women won't say it, but I know some people who've had these girlfriends that wanted their man, and everything they man did, man, I tell you, it could be he dropped the pen, and I mean, still gonna stay 30 minutes on the fact he dropped the pen. I be like, so watch out for those people, because those are the people that, are messy or even just don't want you to succeed. They could not want your bad, but they just don't like to see you happy. They like they love when you're miserable because then they feel like you need them so much. But why can't I need you when I'm good too? So that's why too. That's a whole nother conversation. But make sure you know who you calling your friends, who your homegirls, all that other stuff. CJ, I hope that makes sense. I hope
Oh
that
yeah,
wasn't
most
like
definitely.
a like a hoe. You just
When I
knocked
said
my
it,
answer out the
oh,
park.
can you trust and believe I got you? I was just more so saying the messy part. That's what I was more focused on because I see a lot of it coming from messy points of view. But absolutely, just know when to take the information, when to sit down, when to listen, and when to deter from the not so good choices and paths that you take. But yeah, I definitely agree with you. I definitely do.
I think
Mm.
discernment is like a huge factor in that too. Like just being in tune with yourself and like a easy way to tap into your intuition is just like hearing the voice or hearing like the confirmation and you don't feel like a sense of anxiety, and that ties into discernment. So that's a huge factor when you're getting advice, you're listening to like close friends and family.
Absolutely.
Ooh, spirit of discernment.
How many people can
Ooh,
say they got it?
ooh, listen, CJ, you about to be hurting people's feelings with that one now.
Man,
Seriously.
Mm-mm.
Because some people think they got it and don't have it at all.
at all. Not even
Yeah,
a little bit.
I
Not even.
mean, not a lick of
yeah.
it, literally.
Not even
Ooh,
a pint.
babe, we about to move on because you about to get people to be cussing in the
Mm-mm.
group chat because they
So,
know they ain't gonna like that.
Man,
And
we gonna
Maddie,
say
what you
that a
said
different
for real?
episode.
D, you
We'll,
know how they get?
Huh?
They gonna be real sensitive.
yeah.
we gonna talk about that.
So,
Cause man, that spirit of servant gonna eat you up.
it,
I've had an
It
experience.
is.
Listen,
baby,
especially when you being disobedient and you still keep going
Oh
with it.
yes.
it's
Don't
gonna
do
Oh
that
work.
my
either.
god.
It's gonna keep on turning. Please.
Yeah.
Life
I
come
can't wait
at
till
you
It'll
I get
get you
fast
to
when
a
you
point
don't
you be like,
listen.
I ain't even do nothing. That was Billy. I didn't even do that shit. And
Or
that's
you
the
hit it
point. You're
with,
not doing nothing.
I don't know what my dad did in his past life. I don't know what my mama did, but I'm just reaping it.
Listen,
No, you're not listening.
boy, we gonna test you something.
listen. Man, I'm telling you, you and Maddie. Ooh, let me move on for y'all be eating these people up. Cause I ain't got time. People in my DM. No, why they saying that? They said it. I said 10 toes behind them. And what?
We having flashbacks, y'all.
I'm
And my
trying to
ad is
tell
down there. You
you.
can add me, boo.
Most definitely.
Okay.
I gotta put my
Look,
information.
at me
Let me
and
know.
screen record and react to it. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Send
Let
a
me stop
TikTok.
being petty.
Do that nowadays.
And love to ask you. I be like, baby, do we really want to go back with the remixes? I don't even do the remixes, but do we really want to remix? Because what you said. But let me stop. Let me stop. People like Kelly, why you nutted up on these people like that? But nah, seriously though, what all of what they said, please take that into consideration. Seriously. Woo, woman. We gotta do better, Pooh. But anyway, the next question is a sticky one too, y'all. So they said, ladies, this is asked towards us, y'all. Do you feel like black men, just to hear black men give you a headache because you already know some BS to come behind it. Do you feel like black men are quicker to date outside their race than black women are?
Okay, notice how the question says black men and not black boys.
Ooh.
That's the first thing. So when I hear black man or black men, that means he got it together. He know what he want.
Ooh.
So that's the first thing for me. Um, I feel like I don't think they're quicker to jump outside of the race. Maybe they tried it with, you know, a black queen, and it's just our personality, or they just don't fit with us. But they see something else in the next race, and they going over there. Because if I see they working with my race, I'll go to the other side too. Mm-hmm.
Manny, what do you have to say about that?
I
Ooh.
don't know. Like,
Ooh.
I don't know. I'm still thinking on that one. I wouldn't say quicker, but I don't know. I'm at a loss for words right now. Come back to me.
Oh Lord, Jesus. Oh
So is
Jesus.
Kaitie.
I'm not at a loss. I'm trying to collect my thoughts before I say something ugly.
Yeah.
Oh Lord. I feel it's like this. I hate the name call, Jesus, but you gotta give examples for black people so they know what you're talking about. Jonathan Majors,
Yeah.
baby, I'm about to name a couple other names if y'all don't stop me.
Ray
I will
J.
say he is the
Let's talk about it.
right. So I will say that to say that goes to show you. You ever? I always had this saying where I always have told like the black men around me. I'd be like, make sure you understand that even when you date outside your race, they still have problems like we do, like black women do. And a lot of times, a lot of men that I have talked to that say that why they date outside the race because they say that black women apparently are hard to be submissive. They don't like being submissive. And I said, okay, what did you want her to be submissive to? And come to terms to grips with what I collected out of the collective conversation was bullshit. So I will say that to say, black women, we are very strong minded. And most of us, over at least 60% of us, are strong minded at the right time. So I will say, you have 60% of the population on earth to talk to that know how to control our mouth at the right time. So that goes to my next point. I love this right now. That goes to my next point. At least if you're going to date outside your race, make sure you have exhausted all the possibilities in your own race. We have enough mixed kids out here being confused with who they are, what color they appear of, because white privilege is very much Very
Okay.
much a thing. And I could go about that all day. So I say that to say black boys, as she can say, even black men that know what they want. I will say this: when you hear about these celebrities that are connected to what who they have on their arm, who is most of their eye candies? Kanye West. Perfect example. I don't hate Kim. I ain't gonna cat with you, but you see what happened. So that goes to show you the same problems that our race may have, as a lot of black men can say, you're gonna have that problem with another race. So never let that. I go to say with that, never let that be the reason. Now, if it's love, it's love. That's different. I go for that. But let's stop having a hissy fit and then going outside your race, or going outside your race because you think that what looks good on your arm. Why would you not want a strong black woman to be holding you up in your home front when you made all of that money? All of this money, not saying that it's about money, but spend that money in your community. Why are you giving it to another race for what? And most of the time, like, you like what you like. We got those people too, because I know they gonna come. I'm coming for you next. But I say that to say, because you gotta get everybody on every aspect, because they will try you. And this, I will say this: if you grown, you understand everything that I just said. I'm so sick of this. We gotta be so sensitive to everybody's feelings about what we say. If it apply to you, baby, it apply. If it don't, it don't. Stop trying to make everything fit where it don't need to be fitted. So I say that to say, black men, black guys, black young adults, I will say, do I have an issue, before y'all come at me in the comments, do I have an issue with you dating out your race? Absolutely not. It's your prerogative, as Bobby Brown could say. And if you don't know the song, you're too young anyway. But I will say that to say, you have to understand that us black women, it sometimes hurts our feelings when we hear different stuff like she can't be submissive. That stuff hurts our feelings because you have, like I say, 60% of the population. We know how to be submissive, but why am I going to be submissive to you and you about to lead me off a cliff? Absolutely not. Why can I not be strong minded? Why can I not have a job? All of these things, basically. So being strong minded to you, you feel like I'm not a weakened individual. Why do I have to be weak to be with you? We already were degraded enough during slavery, and this is what I'm talking about. This is why I say it's so hard with this topic, because you can go on days and days of different reasons. But I'm saying what I'm saying to say, make sure it's the right reasons. Like I said, if it's love, love is love. And if that's the person God ordained you to be with, that's different. I'm not talking to those people. I'm talking about if you never exhausted all the possibilities in your own race, and two, if you're dating outside your race for the wrong reasons. Or even, I even heard some guys say, well, white women do stuff that you black women won't. You're absolutely right. But
100%.
all of that fades away. All of that fades away over time the older that we get. The same thing that worked when you was in your 20s won't work in your 50s, boo. I'm just letting you know. How I know, because my parents are older and they can tell you that shark don't work when you get old. You can ask your parents. Your stuff not gonna work like it used to when you was 20 something. So I go to say, you keep fooling around if you want to, and your stuff not gonna work by the time you get that old. You know why? Because you out here chasing a pipe dream. So I will say that to say that sometimes it does make me look at black men a certain way. Like I said, when you get the derogatory comments about us black women, when it comes to their reasons, instead of you saying, you know what, Kaitie, I really just felt like black women did not work for me. Something like that in those contexts. Not saying you have to say specifically that, because that can even to some people be heck of offensive. But I will say, if you're trying to run away from problems, women are women. But black women, we gonna stand 10 toes behind how we are. So if you're trying to run away from a how a woman gonna act, period, that's just the wrong mindset to have. That's just how I feel about it. I do feel like we need to learn how to not give up so quickly on black women, period, when it comes to you being a black man. And I also think black women, but I also feel like for us, it's our last resort. Like, we love black men. We love y'all. I'ma just say we love y'all. And I feel as if I want to see y'all win. I want to see you be prosperous. I want to see you do what you have to do. I want to see you be successful because at a point in time, all of these different things that we have the capabilities of doing now, back then they didn't have capabilities, nor did they have the education, nor did they have, matter of fact, the biggest one, the opportunity to do that black men have the thing to do. You know, that's why we jumped the broom, because black folks back then was not allowed to get married. Like, all these different things, people be like, that has something to do with that. So when you talk about dating outside your race, like I said, love is love. If that's what you're gonna do, that's what you're gonna do. But I feel like, make sure that it's for the right reasons. It's literally because you have exhausted everything that you possibly can in your being to say, hey, this is just what works for me. But not because, oh, black girls don't be hitting me up, because that's a lie. We love y'all black men. Don't be playing on our, what y'all men so playing on top like that. So I say that to say we love y'all and we appreciate y'all. The ones that's real women, not little girls. We're not talking about them. We talking about real women, real young women. We love y'all and we want to see y'all prosper. We want to see y'all be successful, but give us a chance. You know, remember our, matter of fact, refresh yourself on history. Why do we jump the broom? Just go ahead. Matter of fact, jump in the broom. That's a perfect example of a movie that could kind of make it a modernized version of why we jump the broom. Black people, black love, black couples are very powerful. David Man and Tamla Man, perfect example of a power couple. Who else? Who else? Samuel Jackson, his wife. It's so many powerful black couples out here that stay out the way, that don't have nonsense, that love each other, respect each other. So we have perfect examples of how big black love could be. So feed off of those examples. And some of us even have our parents to reflect on. Like, they're not perfect, but they love and respect each other. And I think that's the part we need to go back to when it comes to dating inside our race. And honestly, I stand 10 toes behind everything that I have said. I mean, if you get offended, sorry to step on your toes. Maybe you need to hear it, but I stand 10 toes behind what I said. We need to be more for black love and more for us, and less God says otherwise. That's how I feel about it. Anybody else can tune in, anything else. That's Kaitie's take on it. That's Kaitie's take on it. That's just how I feel about it.
I think you touched on everything. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
CJ, as a black man, how do you feel about it? Cause yeah.
Um. Okay. Um. All right. So, okay. When I first heard about the question that we was all doing, this one definitely stood out because I've always been asked this. I've always been put on the hot seat at one point in time about why I have previously dated outside of my race. Now, me, I'm gonna tell you like I tell the next person, like I told the past person. I don't see color. I don't see ethnicity. I don't see all that. I just see love. I see genuine love, sincerity, all that stuff. So at the end of the day, the color does not matter. But I've said that before, and I know, you know what I'm saying. They are looking for a little bit more than that. So what I did was, a couple guys that I came out of school with, that I still happen to talk to. I don't know much about what it is they see the relationships and what's their types and everything. So I was like, you know what? Let me see if I can pick their brains a little bit. See what's up with them and what they're thinking. Um, and just for the most part, I hate to say it, and I hate to call them out like this, but it's like what you said, Kayla. At the end of the day, it's really nothing that's really set in stone, concrete of a real genuine answer as to why they really jumping out the race or whatever. Part of it is just preference. Like one of my guys, he said he'll take a light skin, tall, light skin all day long. He said he'll take it all day long before he take a black woman. I said, hey man, that's fair. Everybody got their preference. But my thing about it is, it's just why. And for the most part, he couldn't really answer me. For the most part, he really just couldn't give no type of answer. And when I looked at the rest of them for answers, they were just giving the same old, well, you know what I'm saying, nagging, the talking too much, the on my heads and all that stuff. And granted, like she said, like D said, we talking about black men here. We ain't talking about black boys. So these guys are still 19, 20. We're growing up, young men. We're not exactly black men yet. Um, so you know the perspectives, the ideals, the thoughts may not be there and up to that magnitude as of yet. But at the end of the day, it's still something that's an issue all across the world with us black men, whether we're growing up to be, whether we're young, whatever the case may be. And a lot of it, not a lot of people really want to put an emphasis on it, and it may just seem minuscule because we, at the moment, we are children, but a lot of it kind of deals with in school, you know, the bullying or
Mm.
she too dark and all the, you know, you chocolate, you black, all that stuff. Oh, I can't see you in the dark, you know, all that stuff. And in the moment, it was hee hee ha ha, but at the end of the day, as time goes on, as the thoughts start coming in, as the emotions start carrying along with it, it deals heavy, heavy damage. And you know, it's just hard to kind of get out of that stigmatism now. And it's like I said, like you said, man, I love black love. I love to see it. Black love is extremely powerful, and we do have a lot of strong black icons in terms of that standard, in terms of that regard. Um, but yeah, it's just a lot of it is really just minuscule stuff that could be fixed by basically what all is required to be or to keep a relationship at the end of the day. It's just that stuff. Proper communication, really, at the end of the day, is what all it takes. Or one of the main things that it takes. So at the end of the day, it's really just minuscule stuff that I've seen. Nothing really concrete, nothing to sway the argument to one side. It really wasn't nothing like you said. I just, I don't get it, you know. And then I asked him, I said, okay, so then what is it that y'all are doing? Because at the end of the day, like you said, like what you talked about, man, it's one side. It's always another side. It's always another, you know, two stories to every, or two timelines to every story, whatever the case may be, how you want to word it. But everybody has their shine in the limelight. Everybody has their light in the darkness. Everybody has their moments, their darkness days, whatever you want to call it, their delusions, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, man, it's just what are y'all doing here to persuade her from thinking another way or saying another way? What is it that you're not compromising on, where the case may be? Because at the end of the day, ain't no women gonna got there follow no blind nigga. I'm sorry for the language, but ain't nobody. And I don't know why people don't want a strong-minded woman with them. Ain't nobody want somebody that's always gonna be in the front seat. It's a partnership. It's always 100%, 100%. It's never 50%. You know what I'm saying? Of course, the percentiles fluctuate between moods and things that happen or whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, it's still two people, and it takes two people to make this thing work. Um, and so it's just, man, like what you can't sit here and expect or want to be first person in the driver's seat all the time. It is not gonna work that way because you're not gonna see it one way and she's gonna see it a different way. It's not gonna work like that. Your answer may not be the best answer to the current situation. I mean, I don't know about anybody else, but I don't mind having a strong, independent woman that's right there next to me. You know what I'm saying? When I'm not strong enough to make the decision, when I don't know, but I don't have no experience in it, and she got it, you make the calls. We're going to talk about it. We're going to discuss it. Detail, detail, detail. We're going to come to a conclusion, and we're going to end that chapter right then and there. I'm with it. So, that's my
Mm.
point of view.
Okay, okay. You, DeAndrea, you approve of that message?
I
Y'all,
do.
Maddie, you approve of the message?
It was very
Yeah.
mature. Um, from a man's perspective or a guy's perspective, it was a mature response.
But yeah.
Mm. Maddie, you didn't want to add anything, or we pretty much said what you was gonna say.
Yeah, y'all pretty much said it.
Okay, all right. So, last and final question, you guys. I hate when we get to our last questions, but this question is the most important question out of every freaking question on here that we have talked about, you guys. I purposely put it at the end because I feel like we should always end on a good note, a greater note in this case. And somebody asked, how are you able to be so bold for God in our generation? What was the process like for you? Ooh, y'all had to think back so deep. with this question. Because can I just say I used to run? I was very, very bad. Just to start off and make it short and sweet, I used to run from my calling badly. And I grew up in the church, my parents ministers, all that good stuff. And it wasn't a run because I didn't want to accept what I was supposed to be doing kingdom wise. I just want to put that out there. It was because I didn't feel like I was good enough to fulfill my purpose and to fulfill why God had me to do what I was going to do on this earth.
Mm.
I didn't think I had enough manpower from myself to do what he had called me to do. It took a lot for me to get to a certain point to where I felt as if I now have everything that I need. I have every capability. I say Second Peter 1:3. That is my go-to just in case every now and then, like when I get a little weary, weary and well doing, as old folks can say. To where I still need a scripture to lift me up in a moment to say, hey, you still got everything. Because it gets hard, especially being a young adult and trying to be a Christian and trying to not be like the world. I always had this saying, make the world fit around you. Don't try to fit into this world. Because I've always stuck out like a sore thumb. So that's where that saying even came from. I know if you've been watching my podcast a long time or listening until now, you've heard me say that a lot. And I say that to say, you have to stand firm on what you believe and why you're called to do what you're doing. You have to be confident enough to know, just like that, without a shadow of a doubt, no matter what adversary, no matter what person, no matter what things come about, when somebody asks you, why do you believe in Jesus? Why do you love Jesus? Why are you doing what you're doing? You should automatically be able to snap back with them to say, hey, I was destined for this. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. And whatever else you want to say. And I say that to say it gets hard. It used to be hard because, like I said, I didn't know I didn't feel like I was capable of doing it. But once you make up in your mind that I can do this, I got this thing, it becomes easier and easier. Like I said, you have your days, but my process for me, I will say for my process, since you specifically asked what was my process, I had to do a lot of praying. I had to do a lot of self care. I had to do a lot of working on my self esteem, my self control, my self awareness, all the selves I had to literally do in order to reevaluate and figure out where is the path I'm supposed to be on. Okay, well, how do I get there? And the only person that I felt like could help me and could actually steer me to where I'm supposed to be is the one who put me on this earth to begin with, which is God. So I had to go back to him. I had to go back to the drawing board. I had to be open and attentive to listening because sometimes you have to I had to isolate myself because it was sometimes in isolation and sometimes while you're called to isolation is so that you can hear him, but not just so that you can hear him, but so that you can understand, aka comprehend. Because it's different when you're hearing and when you're listening to somebody, but you can't comprehend anything that they're saying. So I had to go into isolation and be like, okay, this is how my podcast came to be because 2 years prior to, I wanted to release it, but God was like, not yet. And no, in those 2 years, I had to go through some things, and that prepped me for here now. So I will say that to say I'm glad. One, I was obedient. To always be obedient. Don't let God get you after the fact. Because yeah, you won't like that. But I will say my process was isolation and listening and comprehending. That was how what my process was like for me. Also too, people falling off and me being okay with it. That was my process. That was how I was. So now I'm not ashamed to get on Facebook anymore and do a sermon or whatever or minister, whatever they want to call it. I always tell them I'm not a minister. However, I know that's my calling. I ran from it a long time, because I'm just like, oh, I don't. But I had to realize that I was already doing half of the things that I needed to be doing. I just had to really just apply them. So that was like my process was for me. Um, and yeah, God had to snatch me up a couple of times, you know. But that was my process. That was my process. I know my co-hosts have, their process. So I'll go ahead and stop talking because I talked enough. But yeah, that's how my process was for me. I would say that. But yeah, anybody else will talk about
Um,
their process.
I do want to say, like, you really hit the nail on the head. Like, that was something for me too. And the second thing is remembering like everything that, God's brought me through. So like I just grown bolder like in him and just, walking in my purpose and, knowing that I'm supposed to be here, everything I'm doing. And then I don't know if this has like much relevance to this, but the third thing is since when I was younger, I always had this saying, my people perish due to lack of understanding. That's a big thing for me too. So it's like those three things like bundled up, like you really hit the nail on the head, by the way. And I admire oh, excuse me. I admire you for that.
Yeah,
Um, I guess I've always been known as the church girl, or I've always grown. I not always, but I grew up in church. So people that didn't align with the church girl persona, a lot of them wouldn't approach me anyway. So that cut down on the BS. I didn't have to go through all that. But now that I've gotten older, because at first I'm not gonna lie, when I was younger, I was kind of like, yeah, yeah, I'm in church. Yeah, I can't do that. Yeah, but that was God's way of shielding me and stuff, shielding me
mm-hmm.
and stuff. Because if not, there's no telling where I would be at.
Mm-hmm.
So now I use my story as well, my testimony as my story. My story is my testimony. So yeah, now I'm on fire for Jesus. Yeah, can nobody like unlike me?
Period.
I love this.
Yeah.
Yes. CJ. Woo! Come
Um,
on, cuz. God know it's
geez. All
enough.
right.
I feel it. I feel it through the
All right. All
spirit.
right. So, all right. So, hit it right on the head with the running, man. I'm known for running. I'm a known runner. I'm still running. I'm not gonna lie to you. I still dabble in things here and there, but for the most part, or for the half part, however, I know I'm still running. Every Sunday, every time somebody comes or whatever the case may be, I'm always getting pointed out. I'm always getting singled out about something that it is that I'm supposed to be or something that it is that I'm supposed to do in ministry. And the potential that I have. And coming from same as D, church boy, all my life. Grew up all my life in and out of church every week. Leaving the church house 7, 8 o'clock, like 8:30, helping
Tired.
with whatever the case may be at events, at revivals, conventions, all this other stuff, and always being told that I'm supposed to be this great, whatever hearsay, he say, she say, and just a lot of the self doubt really just stuck to me. And it's like, well, golly, as I got older, I realized, well, okay, so you're a church boy, right? You done did all these things, you done all these things, you're supposed to do all these things. But what is it that you want to do? What is it that CJ really is supposed to be? What is it that CJ wants to do? Who is CJ? Um, and a lot of it has just been a whole rigmarole with just trying to identify who it is that I am and what that I want to do. But at the end of the day, I keep having to come to grips, and the same conclusion is that at the end of the day, when God calls you to be who you're supposed to be, and all these people of value, of high positions in the ministry that's telling you face to face, pulling you out in the middle of the congregation, singling you out for at least 20, 30 minutes, like, folks, is no running from it. It's no denying it. It's no, okay, I got more time to get away from this. I got a little bit more time
Mm-hmm.
before I sit down and do this. And at the end of the day, I have been getting better because it used to be a point in time where people say I got God in me and everything like that. But at the end of the day, man, I couldn't recite a Bible verse if you told me to right there on the spot. I couldn't recite nothing.
Mm,
Not even the basic. I couldn't I
that's
couldn't say
real.
nothing. Couldn't say nothing. I couldn't sit there. I get the mic. I start stuttering real bad. I didn't even want to be in church choir, young deacon, all this stuff that I'm in, and I never wanted to be in the spotlight. But every time, everything that I was in, the spotlight always came to me. Um, and of course, you had those moments where you just like, man, I don't want to do this, man. Hey, how about I just, fake sick or whatever like this? Like, how about I just, act like, oh, well, CJ ain't here no more. Go run away. I was just like, thoughts like that really did go through my head because of just things that I was afraid of and a feeling not of value to be what it is that I'm supposed to be or called to be. But at the end of the day, man, it's hard. But at the end of the day, it's also as hard as you necessarily make it. It could
Mm.
become easy within a second once you learn to accept it, but it can be hard when you keep learning from it like I do. Um, so at the end of the day, man, God is on our side. God is here for us. God is here to build us up for Him and His kingdom and His name, man. And at the end of the day, when your name is on that roster and you up under that title that you're supposed to be, man, it's coming whether you like it or not, whether you want to accept it or not. Um, So
Mhm.
yeah, that's my journey. But at the end of the day, like I said, I'm still getting better at it. It's still times where I don't run from the spotlight necessarily, but I ain't gonna sit there and do too much either. I still kind of sit in the back of the congregation, but yet still get pointed out. Some Sundays I sit there front row seat, smiling, doing what it is I'm supposed to do, what my role is, and everything. So at the end of the day, y'all, it's really just what you make it and what you choose to accept it to be for you. So.
Mm, 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 mm.
Um, Let me add, when I was younger, well, let me not say when I was younger, but yeah, when I was younger, I wanted to be of the world. Like I was trying to fit in. So that
Mm,
kind of tied into why I was not ashamed, but like I was hesitant to say, yeah, yeah, I go to church. Yeah, I do this because I was trying to like fit into this persona, fit into find my place in this world. But yeah. hmm Like you
mm.
said, God has a call on your life. There's nowhere you can go hide, nothing you can say to persuade nobody
Listen.
because deep down you know that yes, it ain't right.
Oh,
Yeah.
listen. What the scriptures say, nothing can separate you from the love of God. Also know that. Stand on that. Like some people think just because you fell away from God that God fell away from you. No. He never fell away from you. How you think he was able to be kept this long doing the wrong thing? So I say that to say he will always keep you, and you have to understand that his what we said, his grace and mercy is sufficient for you.
Mm-hmm.
We have been saying that all season. I kid you not, because I just don't know that's so pushed on me for this season. Like his grace and mercy, like somebody really just I don't know if you're gonna keep watching these episodes in this season, but his grace and his mercy is sufficient for you, and you have to know that you know that you know that, because it's so easy to try to be so in tune with the world, because you don't want to be out of tune, because if you're out of tune too long, you'll feel like you're missing something. No, if you're missing it, you're supposed to be missing it. So I say that to say, like, honestly, for this person, you have to spend time with him, and you have to know that you know. You really, really have to spend time with him. Make it your business to pray. Prayer is literally how we talk to him. Your traditional praying is not necessarily have to be the way you have to pray. Let me just say that, because people be like, well, no, your way of talking to God is your way of talking to God, but you need to do it. Especially if you claim you're a Christian, you need to make it your business to do it. No matter if that's 5 minutes, that's 2 minutes, that's when you're in the shower, that's when you're making your coffee, as my homegirl always do. Anything, any squeeze. I will say this: make God a priority. Don't just squeeze him into your schedule. Make it your schedule. Because at the end of the day, like I have a habit of listening to gospel music early in the morning to set my day. Before I even do anything else or while I'm getting dressed, I do that so I can set my day. And those days where I go without doing it, my day is totally set off. Like it seemed like those days be my hardest, roughest days. Um, besides my my medical condition. But I will say that to say that's what sustains me, because even sometimes where I don't really be feeling it or I don't really be feeling good, I still do it anyway. And sometimes that truly does get me not just through that day, but through that week. Even weeks that I feel like are going to be the toughest thing, like they are made easier, surely, but slowly, because he just continues to I'm making it my business. I'm being more intentional. There you go. Be more intentional at spending time with him, because he continues to keep us. He continues to be with us. He continues to, how about this? Wake me up every morning. If God can be consistent and intentional with that part, the least I could do is be intentional with how much time I'm spending with him. And that's how you get closer to him. That's how you get bolder. To answer your question, that's how you get closer to him. That's how you get bolder, because like I said, you just have to know that you know that you know. And like Maddie was saying, like, look at where you came from versus where you're at now. And I even go further. Look at where you came from and look at what other people are compared to where you are. And I even go further for you. Look at where you came from, where people said you should have been, and you're not there. So you just, like I said, you really just have to know that you know. And you have to make sure that you keep that what you know with you. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about that. Spend time with him. In our generation, we're the stubborn generation, as they say. We're the why
Very
generation.
comes to being
We have an answer for everything, but let your answer be the reasonable answer in the room. You don't always have to be the outright one, because I had to learn that too. Yes, me. I had to learn that sometimes you just, I think D said this in like episode, like, 2 weeks ago, episode one. You have to sometimes say, I don't know. And don't be prideful, and don't feel bad when you say, I don't know. But sometimes if you don't know, somebody else will know. And then that puts you in a room. What you said, D? I don't want to take words out your mouth because you
Oh,
said it good. So.
it puts you in a room with someone higher than you, like someone better than you. Somewhere you can learn from. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what she said, because that was good how she said it. That's why I don't want to mess it up. But yeah, like you have to know that also surround yourself with those godly people. I cannot stress this enough. Don't just have friends that you drink, smoke, all that. Because if we just being real, let's be real quick. Don't have those friends where you're always doing just worldly stuff with. You need to have those spiritually strong or spiritually surrounded friends around you that can say, hey girl, you may be doing too much, or hey dude, like you may be doing a little much, or even can be covering you when you're not even able to cover yourself. I will say that. Or when you're going through warfare, they will know without you telling them. I cannot stress that enough. And that helps you to continue to push through, because that's that little, besides God, but prayers do work. And he's honoring those prayers, because prayers of a righteous do avail of much. And baby, them righteous men that was praying for me, I can tell you they availed, because I felt it. I felt when somebody was praying for me when I couldn't do it myself. So surround yourself with those people. Those are the it girls. Can I just say that? Though, those are the people who you need to be around, who can have fun, but also who love God. Can I go to church with you? I can go to the club with you, but can I go to church with you? I have gotten that bold. I just be like, can I go to church with you? Like, I can go to the club with you, but you know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much all I really have to say about that. Whoever that was for, um, yeah, that's really all I have to say, honestly. Um, and yeah, if you don't have those right people in your circle, pray the prayer of remove those people who do not belong. And
Mhm.
baby, God gonna remove. He gonna remove, and you gonna feel it. So
Learn to let them go. Yo, that's the biggest thing too. You got to learn to let them go and accept when to let them go.
Mhm.
Boy, don't even get me started on that. Yeah, we talk about that another time.
Yeah. Yeah.
right, and be okay with it. Listen,
Yeah.
let them go and be okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
Pray to
Mm-hmm.
learn how to be okay. Pray to have the spirit of acceptance. Like, okay, this is what it's gonna
Hmm.
be. All right. Okay, I see this red flag. Let me. Okay, note it. I
Hmm.
got it. Yeah. Don't be naive and oblivious.
Please.
All right.
Mm.
Please.
Oh, Matt, do you have anything to add? Anybody else have anything that we talked? Anything to add before we close out this episode, y'all? 'Cause this was
Get
good.
that therapy. Get that therapy.
Yes.
One of the biggest things I say,
Love you,
bro.
woman. Yeah.
Stop being afraid to be vulnerable, man. God, Lee, I'm so tired of people being so afraid to be vulnerable.
There's
Emotional.
nothing wrong with improving yourself.
There's nothing wrong with it. Like, stop being afraid to be vulnerable. I know things happen. I know things have been said when you're younger. Things ain't been talked about. You still holding on to stuff. But God, Lee, man, for the love of God, be vulnerable with somebody. Be vulnerable with somebody. If it ain't with yourself, you gotta talk to yourself in the mirror in the room and talk with yourself and let you know that, hey, I don't feel okay with this or something. Just stop being afraid to be vulnerable, man. Stop blocking
Mhm.
vulnerability, bro, because it's not helping. It won't help.
Whoever
And I would
and
say, ladies,
needs to
don't give him the cow for free. Don't give him the cow for free. That's what old folks say.
Yeah.
Give the cow for
I
free.
also want to say, like, whoever needs to hear it out there, man, your mental health matters. Like, I've come across like a lot of men in my family history. We need to, like, just even women too, even in the Black community, but like most importantly, men, your mental health matters, and I just want to see more
Hmm.
men take charge of that too. Reach
Yes,
out if you don't have anybody to talk to. Please just reach out. Find someone, please. Your best friend, your sister, whoever. Like, you really matter. Your life matters. Like, I just really wanted to throw that in there because I just been seeing like a lot, like on TV,
yes,
social media, and it's just like
yes.
I just had to throw that in there.
Absolutely.
Mm-mm-mm. Yes. We love y'all. We love y'all, Black men. We love y'all.
Love
We
you,
cannot
baby.
stress that.
Love.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Yes, yes, yes. And honestly, I'm praying that y'all strength stays. Y'all got this. Do not give up. Y'all got this thing. Stay in the fight. Everybody stay, not just black men, but black women. Stay in the fight, sis. You got this. You're strong. You can't sustain.
Mhm.
Um, Suicide is not the answer because you won't always be where you're at. Um, yeah, that's really all I have to say. So
Life needs to start
yes,
for y'all before y'all ended it, bro.
yeah.
It needs to.
And honestly, realize the people that you will be leaving behind. Um, I think that's important too. But also, if you're having those thoughts, get help. Go to therapy. Talk to somebody. Shoot, contact us. DM us.
Yeah.
If you don't even want to talk to somebody that you know, I
Shoot, yes.
promise you, we will answer. We will love on you. Like, I cannot stress that enough because I know some people don't want to, whoever that's for. I know you might not want to talk to people who you know because you may not want them to look at you no type of way. But you feel how you feel. Your feelings are very much real. We will pray with you. We will shoot, man. I'm gonna love on you and I'm gonna love you through it. You hear me? Cause
Close to me enough
we
to put holy oil on you.
okay.
Oh
Through the
yeah.
phone. Like, I'm going to find a way for you to feel so.
Oh yeah.
You will be covered in the blood.
Okay. Drenched in it,
Right.
too. Be leaking.
Yes.
I got the info. Just throw us in the group chat, man. We there.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Listen, I
Can't say that.
mean that wholeheartedly. But yes, like I said, everybody has their social medias, and even if you just need some advice or anything, guys, please hit up CJ. He is one of the best people. I can vent for him. And DeAndrea has actually been a couple episodes with CJ, so she can also vent for you too. That is the right dude to go to. He will put his business out there and be straight up with you, but love on you at the same time. And I think a lot of people can't do that. Contact D, contact Maddie. I mean, oh my gosh, like contact us if you need anything, ladies. Any advice, anything, prayer, anything. I'm telling you, we're there. We got you. We got your back. So yes, all right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for episode 3 of the script series. Man, we truly did end on a good note. This conversation was a good one through and through. We talked about literally it all. Stay tuned for next week's season finale. You guys, of the script series. I'm telling you, you do not want to miss it. Some of your co-hosts will actually be back. So please, please, please stay tuned. You do not want to miss it. Hope you all enjoyed this conversation as much as I did. I love y'all, and we'll see y'all next week for the season finale. Woo,
Yes.
woo, woo. Say bye, y'all. Love y'all.
Bye, guys.
Love y'all.
Bye.
Love you guys.